So, wir sind wieder da, ich bin wieder da und jetzt geht's weiter im nächsten Programmpunkt hier, unserem kleinen Community-Livestream. Und zwar haben wir jetzt einen neuen Gast hier im Stream, nämlich Vital Lacerda. Hello Vital, nice to have you here on our channel. First time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah,
and to meet you in person. I never met you.
Yeah, we never met. I think. Do you normally go to Essen? I mean, in normal years.
Yeah, usually. And I really miss Essen right now. Yeah, because this year I had 2 games to release, and I couldn't go there, and so.
And this year you plan to come or not sure yet?
Sorry.
This year you plan to come or not sure?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we have so many games to demo there, so I'm sure.
Yes. We will talk a little bit about that. So, also ich werde kurz mit Vital ein bisschen reden. Ihr dürft gerne aber jetzt schon in den Chat auch Fragen schreiben, was euch interessiert. Wir haben ja hier Alien Invasion schon bekommen. Dazu können wir gleich auch noch mal ein bisschen was sagen. Aber ich würde ihn auch genau nachfragen nach den neuen Titeln, die kommen. Weather Machine und was habe ich mir noch? Genau, Bot Factory. Und dann gibt es auch noch einen, da habe ich noch sehr wenig drüber rauskriegen können. Inventions. Okay, aber ihr schreibt einfach und ich werde schon so ein bisschen loslegen. So, okay, so the first game we want to talk about is actually the expansion for On Mars, Alien Invasion, which has actually a quite funny German subtitle, because in German it's eine ziemlich kooperative Erweiterung, which means how would you say in English, so a little bit cooperative. Mostly cooperative. Almost. Yes, almost cooperative. Yes, that's quite funny, and it's not an expansion of the normal game, but actually kind of new game modes. So it's like we have one versus many with the invasion and so on. So why did you do it like this? Why not a normal expansion for a normal game?
Well, I never designed expansions for the games because when I designed the games, I try to make them complete. And the publisher asked me for something new to add to the game. And well, that's the best way I found to make a new and fun expansion. So since Aliens does not exist for now, at least we know. I had some fun things to add to the game. The game per se is a serious subject, right? Because it will not take long that someone goes there and starts colonizing Mars, right? It can be hopefully in my lifetime yet. So but what I decided to do here is to make a few chapters, just like when we start colonizing Mars. Mars was invaded by other forces, the aliens, and try to send us to the Earth again because they think humans are virus that want to spread everywhere. So that is the story of the game. Something that I think it's funny.
Yeah, so I think it's very funny, yes.
I designed 4 chapters, and that can be played how the players want. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to follow the story. It's not a story. It's 4 chapters connected with each other. Okay.
Okay.
And
because it's not connected in a way that it's somehow it's just 4 different things, and you kind of wrap the story around it, but. It's just for because it's solo, it's cooperative, it's 2 cooperative, right? Blackout and Breakout.
We have 2 cooperatives.
Yes.
One of them, the first one, is the Alien Invasion, where is 1 player that adds a 5th player to the game. So it's 1 player that is the alien, that is the alien leader that is trying to take care of the planet.
And it's what you say. It's what is more difficult, being the alien or being the other players?
Well, I think playing with the alien is very funny, right? Because you are trying to expel the humans from the planet.
I see.
And we had different playtesters that love to play like the alien. But it also is a way for the players to learn the base game in a funny way. So you know, on Mars is a heavy game, so it has some rules, and you have to learn a little bit of the rule book before you start playing. And learning the game as a cooperative way is much easier because only one player knows the game, and you are doing what he says, and you are learning the rules of the base game. Yeah. And with that one, you have a special player that should know the rules and have special rules for himself. That is to try to conquer the planet.
Okay, very funny.
After that, that's the 5-player games. So 3 to 5 because you can have 2 humans against 1 player. Then we have a full cooperative version that I start to design that cooperative version before the virus, before Corona. So before the virus, and it's the same story. The aliens just infest the planet, and people is getting sick and killed. Okay. And so you have to cure people and vaccinate them to survive on the planet. And that is completely cooperative. It's a cooperative that plays from 2 to 4 players, and you are playing against the game. Yeah. So the game has a deck of cards that you are taking and are infecting everyone, and you are trying to struggle with the other players to go and pass through those problems, just like we did these last 2 years.
Yeah, we did.
It's the same. But the funny part is just like I started to design this before the pandemic, and that is something that was strange.
I think we are through enough to make fun again out of it.
Yeah, it's cool. In a few years, nobody cares about what is happening unless we have another one.
Yeah, unless we hope not. Yeah, and blackout is, as I recall, it's like you have to restore the energy on the surface and yes.
That is also a cooperative one, and there is an alien that is a group of aliens that is. Not a group of aliens. That is one alien, because we defeat the aliens on the first chapter, right? Yes. And then we defeat disease on the second chapter. Yes. And now we found one. There is one alien lost on the planet that is trying to keep his mission on, and it's cutting the power everywhere. And we are trying to keep the powering up. So, and finally we have one final chapter that is a solo game, where you have goals and you are after the goals.
Yeah, also with aliens, of course. Cool. So, I really think it's a very, very unique and I would really love to play. I love actually one versus many. It's a great opportunity to have different kind of game. So we have a lot of questions actually from the community. So I will go to them to we have to answer them. So the first question is. Most of your games are very complex, right? Very, in a German word, is like many different mechanics kind of intermingled, interconnected. So the question is, how do you do that actually? How can you test all this kind of if a game is that complex, how many test players you need, how many games until you test games and until you content with the game.
With the final results, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many games, but I can say that I play tests at least 3 or 4 times a week during like 2 years until the game is ready.
Right.
The good thing now, is that we can use digital platforms to play test games, and it's much faster, and you can have a lot of more playtesters. I have a channel on Discord where people can join and playtest the game. So it's not very difficult for me to have the full tables almost every day. I need some days to think about changes before I play, but usually I can have at least 2 or 3 sections per week online, and with different people from all over the world, and that's the best part, because everybody thinks in a different way when you play a game, right? So I can say that a German playing a game is much different from an American playing a game. And I noticed this really easy, because I have some German people and American people on the same table, and they play in a completely different way. And
cool.
this helps me a lot to develop the game faster because I receive much more feedback from different minds thinking, right? But basically, yeah, the answer is a lot of
2 years.
playtesting.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Usually 2 years of intense playtesting. Yeah, at least. For instance, Lisboa took me like 4 years to be completed.
Oh, okay.
But it was before I used the platforms, so the online platforms. It's much difficult to set up a game with friends, right? You cannot do it 4 times a week.
Yeah,
you have to go to the conventions and you have to set up the game and tear down the game. It's very different than just click a button and the game is set to play. Yeah.
One question is about other games. If you are thinking about other cooperative expansions, like, for example, Winhouse, Beer Invasion.
Well, I'm not. Right now, not. As I said in the beginning, I usually don't develop expansions for the games. So, unless small expansions. And I have so many projects until, I don't know, till 2026 or 7. So, and I'm not thinking about making expansions for other games that are already designed.
Yeah, you don't have time for that. That's totally
well, it's not only the time. It's just like I prefer to design a new game than an expansion for a game.
Yes, I understand.
And that is the example, what the game you have in your hand, because it's almost a different game from. It's not an expansion, as you said.
Yes, it's not a real expansion. It's more like an addition.
An addition, I can see it's an addition for the on Mars.
Very good, very cool. Just an out of the box question is they're interested in what are your kind of top 3 games personally? I mean, not necessarily from you, so games
from
from you. So just
other
in general, what kind of games are you? I think that the question is more like, what kind of games do you like? Other games.
Well, I like the games, the type of games I design. Right, I like heavy games. My favorite game ever is Brass. Okay. I played it. I don't know how many times. I lost the count.
Yes.
I really love heavy games, and probably those are the ones that I play the most. Of course, I play some family games with my family, with some friends that don't play games usually. But if you ask me to choose, I prefer to have fun during 3 or 4 hours playing one game than playing 4 games in 4 hours. So that's my preferences.
Yeah, Brass is really an all-time favorite. That's for sure. Cool.
Yeah, it's my favorite ever. Well, I start this one of the reasons I start designing these types of games is because of games made by Martin Wallace, Brass, Age of Steam, and so. And those were the kinds of games that I really loved to play at that time. And then, it jumped to what I want to do.
Very cool. The next question is, what kind of topics like you would do in the future? I mean, it's also a specialty of yours that you have really kind of distinct topics. Actually, I would say sometimes I have to say on Mars and Kanban, maybe you're a fan of Elon Musk, I don't know. Or where do you get your ideas from? Yes.
I am. I am. So, and CO2 also was the first one that I had with. But I usually look for teams that interesting me. So it's much easier if you like the team. It's much easier for you to research, right, and look for new things around the teams. And I like history. That's why I designed Lisboa. I like a lot wine.
yes, wine.
But wine is the number one industry that we have in my country, and I want to place my country on the map of the game. So I start designing vineyards. So CO2 is something that worries me about, and the climate change. I like cars, and now I also drive an EV, so I like electric cars. So most of the themes are something that is very close to me in my real life. Of course, not on Mars, but I like the idea.
The idea. It's
explains the humankind there. So yeah.
Of course, very cool. So, and the other question is really like, so when do you do a game about saxophones? Because you have one in the back. Do you play saxophones?
I have, and it's on the list. It's on the list.
It's on the list.
Not about saxophones, but I have one idea that I'm already working on, not playtesting, but thinking about and research. That is called Speakeasy. I don't know if you know what it is. Those are the jazz bars.
Yeah, the jazz
30s.
Bars. Yeah, where you
From
kind
the
of
30s.
have with prohibition,
Yeah,
you know.
so-
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, during the prohibition. So yeah, probably it can be a future game.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I have the saxophone, but I play, but not very well. So I just like to play. So.
One question specifically about Winhorse. There are two versions, like from the older version from 2010 and then from 2016.
Yes.
And the community member is asking, why did you change the game? Because she actually prefers the older one. what made you change?
He prefers the older one?
Yeah, she prefers the older one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I released Vinhos, the first edition of Vinhos is from a different publisher. And the new publisher that I'm working with, Eagle Griffin, wants to remake the game when the rights came back to me. But I was being criticized, or not criticized, but the comments is like my games was very hard to play and other players would like to start playing those games. So I decided to simplify a little bit that game. But since I also prefer the oldest version, I put both in the box, you know. So and both are the box. The original version doesn't have any change, just an adjustment or two, but not a big change. And I made some that would be easier for new players to come in and start playing games, start playing my games, right? And that is also the ideas. If we go to another subject, was the birth of the idea of making small games with parts of my games, the big ones, to teach people some mechanisms and to make it easy to enter on these heavy ones that I designed. Okay. So, and that's one of the reasons I designed Mercado and now Bot Factory. So
yes,
yeah.
Bot Factory. And that's the thing. We should talk a little bit about the upcoming games. And Bot Factory is, of course, one of it. It will come out this year, right?
Well, the Kickstarter is planned to June. Yes, June. Yes, I think it's 19. I'm not sure, but 19 of June, I think.
And it's like also a funny description, I think. It's in a Kanban way combining projects to build bots, right? So it has some Kanban things in it, I think, with the female chief, or how it's called in English, I don't know, Vorarbeiterin.
Yeah, it's Sandra, my wife, that is the manager of the manager of the factory.
So
Kanban has
what are you doing in this game?
Well, you are building toys, bots, robots, toy robots.
Okay.
Just like the way you are building the cars on Kanban. Okay. It's a much smaller game. It takes like 1 hour to play, and you can learn it in 10, 15 minutes. I would say that is a mini Kanban, so a smaller version of the game, because it uses the same work placement mechanism. Okay? So the work placement mechanism of Kanban and on the Bot Factory is the same. And you have to do what you do in a factory, that is to build something that is, you get the projects, then you get the pieces, and then you build the final products, and you can sell them. Okay, that's what you're doing in Bot Factory. It's very funny. Even I don't know if you saw the drawings already.
I saw a little bit on the Board Game Geek. What's there?
They are there, and the game is finished. And the art is also finished, and I've been playing these with even I won't say known gamers, but with medium light gamers and family players, and I always say, okay, you enjoyed this one, now you are ready to play Kanban, because you know the rules. But people really enjoy this one because it's very simple to understand and it's really fun. and it's a combo game. Okay, so you are doing something that allows you to do something else, that allows you to do something else, and then you build a bot. And I have more bots than you. And the game ends like when you have 5 bots or 1 bot of 1 color is done. So, and the game is really fast. You can play it like in 40 minutes. One good thing that nice thing or funny thing about this game is like families take longer to play the game than families or no gamers, because gamers think a lot ahead, right? Like 2 or 3 or 4 actions ahead. And families don't do this, just play for pleasure, right? It's just place here, see what they do. And that's why the time of the game changes. So it's a game, I think it's a game that can be played and enjoyed by every player. I don't know.
Okay.
One of my groups, that is a group that playtests, the live group that playtests my heavy games, say that is my best game. So.
Oh, okay. Very good, very good.
Well, they are being funny with me, hopefully, but they say that it's a great game. So
it looks very nice. And I think it looks very, very welcoming for gamers.
Yeah, I'm designing also this game with a friend, a Portuguese friend that is also a designer. So it's a co-design with João.
With João,
João Quintela,
Martins, yes. I can't pronounce it correctly.
It's difficult to say. I complain about his name, but he says, well, my birth name. So but
yes, and I think the next game is also very interesting. It's also for 2000 in Board Game Geek. It says 2022, so this year is Inventions: Evolution of Ideas, and this seems to be a little heavier game, but there's not much information. Much information yet. So can you tell us a little bit about that game and when it's coming?
I can. Yeah, it's the game that I'm developing right now. It's on developing. I'm playtesting since last year, as soon as, since I finished Weather Machine, and I have it now here. Weather Machine is arriving finally. It's a game about ideas and inventions that leads the developing of the societies. So the developing of your civilizations.
So you start with, I don't know, making fire, and then nuclear
we start
weapon.
with the wheel, with the fire, and we are evolving until, I don't know, the batteries or something.
Yes, okay.
To almost to Mars. Well, the batteries and the rockets, and
I see.
And while you're doing this, you are inventing, you play the ideas, you are inventing those ideas, and then those ideas makes your civilization stronger, brings more people to your civilization, and you are growing a board that is your main city and is developing and make your actions stronger. The good part is of this, the game only has 12 rounds. Doesn't take a long time. Well, doesn't take a long time because it's only 12 rounds. But 12 rounds is the same size of Vinhos. It also have 12 rounds. But you can take a few actions in the same round because it's a combo action. It's a combo game. So you are taking one action, and then this leads to another one. Then this leads to another one.
Wouldn't it be,
if you play well, you can.
It's just that we get the right idea. It's also a kind of big Eagle Griffin box, or what do you expect? Yes, okay.
Yeah, it is just like the next big game after Weather Machine that people didn't receive yet. But I can say I just received the game and I'm looking at it. It's good. It's great. Yeah. The production is always great from Eagle Griffin games. That's nobody expects different, right?
Of course, yes.
And it's the next big box game. At least for me. I don't know if they are doing more big box games, but yeah.
I mean, we can expect to have Weather Machine on sale in Essen with Eagle Griffin, and inventions coming later, or
inventions probably. I don't know, the Kickstarter at the end of the year or beginning of the next year.
Like this, yes. I would
say because I have a big process. Now I'm starting working with Ian on the art. I don't have any art in the game yet. We are playtesting. And then we start the rulebook with Paul Grogan. He's the one who usually edits my rulebooks. And until then Eagle Griffin will get the game sent to the printer. So it will take a long time. This probably will be ready for the public, hopefully, Essen 2024.
Yeah.
If we have lucky, I'm not sure. I would like to, but I can't say. I can't.
So, but you try, like, let's say, I mean, you try to do at least like one big project a year if things work out like this.
Yes, I'm trying to have one big project a year because I work in more than one game. Usual. I'm already, as we spoke about the saxophone game. I'm already working on that one also. And right now I'm trying also with a co-designer, in the case João, make small games once a year also. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Starting kind of with Mercado, you kind of have a second kind of thing you do,
Mercado
not just big boxes.
Well, no, because it's a way for me to bring more people to my other games. Because exploring mechanisms that seems complicated when you start reading the rules. If you play the same mechanism in another game, maybe you are interested in trying a bigger one. I don't know, but it's my idea at least. And the games are fun. It's just like Bot Factory is I think is a good one. It's a good game. It's a good game.
Very cool.
People will be happy with it. So yeah.
So I think we answered most of the questions, and thank you so much, Vital. It was very, very interesting. I'm really looking forward to this expansion, actually, because I definitely will try the invasion. You too, yes? You wanted to, yes?
I am too, because I didn't receive my copy yet. So
that's true. So hopefully, maybe this year we see each other in Essen. I hope.
Yeah, probably. No, I'm sure that one will be at Essen for sure. Weather Machine, I think, also.
Very cool.
So, and this is a nice way for you to find different ways to play on Mars.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably you'll bring more friends to that game, I hope.
Yeah, it's very cool. So thanks you a lot for this interview. I hope it was but I think a lot of questions. And he said he wants to go to Essen. This question
I'm sure I will be there. Yeah. I'm sure I will be there. So,
that's cool. So thanks again. And we see each other in Essen.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And Hunter, nice to meet you. Thank you very much for having me.
Take care, Vital. And good luck with the games.
See you in October.
Yes. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.